So we are now recording, and we've actually been on a few minutes because we had a few technical hitches, but welcome everyone. And if you're watching the recording, then it's great to have you listening to us and watching us. I'm Katie, and I am literally here today. Well, I'm going to participate, obviously, but I'm going to just go through all the Zoom stuff. Sadly, Sharon, who is on today, can't hear us. I hope she'll be able to watch the recording. I have asked her to log out and in again, but I'm not sure that's going to work. Anyway, can you hear us? No, I don't think she can hear us. Oh dear. Anyway, we'll have to carry on. So I'm just going to go through the controls for those of you that are on. We've gone through a little bit. So you've got two buttons. You've got video button and you've got an audio button, which is a microphone. Video button's a camera. Those mean that you can mute and unmute and turn your camera off if you need to. A little bit of, I think it's rubbing against the microphone, probably. Either Mariana or it's fine, stop now. And you've got a chat box. Now, obviously, all of us are chatting away, and we're happy to unmute and talk. Some people on the call in future may be a bit shy, and if you'd rather use the chat box and ask a question, that's fine. Also, if you feel there's loads going on and you don't want to interrupt, then put a question in the chat box and we'll come to you. So I'm going to be monitoring the chat box. So that is really it as far as technical stuff goes. If anybody's got any questions. No, okay. So what we're going to do today is Helen is going to basically run this meeting. She's very used to running groups, and we're going to basically introduce ourselves, aren't we, Helen? We're going to hand over to you to take us through the agenda. Because it's your idea, it's your baby.
Yeah, it's for everybody, so that's great. So I know it's really small at the minute, small today. I'm pretty sure that it will grow though, so I'm really happy to be here. And thanks for sharing this process, Katie, because I couldn't do it without you because I'm absolutely rubbish at the technical stuff. I'm at the moment I am on my phone, so I can't see who else is actually on, but welcome everybody from me as well. So what I'd like to talk to you about to start with, I guess, is what is the point of running these meetings? What's the point of doing these? Well, first of all, it kind of transcends the whole live stuff if we can't get to them. And of course, once we get the hang of this Zoom business as well, that's like the other really important thing. I know it's a little bit tricky, but I think once we've tried a couple of times, it should be okay. Oh, Kate, real quick, can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. So, the other purpose of these meetings is to be able to do some stuff that perhaps aren't done in group or aren't done when we have the meetings that are more kind of social. I mean, this can be also social, but I was hoping perhaps that we can get something even more out of it, something more constructive and something more to be able to assist us with our journeys. Yeah. So, the things perhaps that we can address can be issues such as perhaps addressing, for example, controversial issues or intimate subjects that, we can't address in the group, for example. I would like it very much, if it's good with you guys, to be about the expansion of awareness and consciousness, because that's going to help us immensely with all of the mindset work stuff, which is actually the backbone and the foundational structure of the TKS system. Without that, it all implodes, doesn't it? So I think it would be very useful if a lot of it is about that and around that, and to also provide this as a kind of an educational platform where we can share our knowledge and reinforce the program. Of course, each of us, as Kate very correctly suggested before, that we all contribute our own little segments, our own, what it is that our talents are, so on and so forth. So for those of us that are a little bit more bold, perhaps in future we can say, all right, this is a section for Sharon, for example, and she can do her little bit, offer her little bit, her contribution to the group, of course. And the other thing that I wanted to start with, I guess, is because we're all going to introduce ourselves a little bit. I'll start off with myself real quick. So my name is Helen Christodoulou. I started the TKS with the 30-day challenge back in August. I've lost a total of 9 kilos. I started off by losing 3 kgs before I started the dress challenge the conventional way, and then I lost a further 6.5 after beginning TKS. So we can see where the benefit is, obviously. And the reason that I was so inspired to run this particular group is to help me personally stay accountable. By making a more of a contribution and having a more intimate connection, it means that it can allow me to stay accountable into continuity. And personally, I do actually enjoy the program, and I don't mean to sound like a bit of a snob, but haven't really struggled with it. Like, I've really enjoyed doing it. It's brought up a very few bits of mindset issues along the road that, you know, I've kind of gone through. And I'm hoping that this particular group can, you know, just help to reinforce all of the other good work that we're doing. I'd also like to contribute my bit at some point, if you are all up to it, of course. And by the way, if you're not hearing something or don't have an opinion on something at the, you know, to mention in the chat in this group, you can actually put it to the Facebook group if you have any questions. Yeah. So one of my suggestions and one of my free contributions is I would love to offer perhaps some group healing or energy work to help support the mindset work that's covered in the TKS program. So I guess that more or less covers what it is that I wanted to say about me and what it is that I do. Oh, professionally speaking, I do facilitate healing and metaphysic work groups and stuff. So that's what I do. And it comes from a background of multiple sclerosis. So I'm predominantly well with that, apart from fatigue, which is the reason why I'm always involved in transformational work and always a fiery willingness to assist where I can. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's me. I'm going to take it back to Katie because she can see all you guys. Perhaps she can do her intro. And then she can pass it around to everybody else. Thanks very much, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Helen. That's fantastic. Okay.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, so let me tell you about me. So basically, I started the challenge in August, the same as Helen. I started the 30-day challenge. I joined in July and practiced a bit and then started on the 1st of August. And I have lost 11 pounds. What's that? 6 kilos. I've got a long way to go. I still want to lose another 20 pounds, but I'm happy with where I am. And I've already seen a massive difference in my body shape and everything. I have had a few challenges recently, and I work with Mariana as a coach. Mariana will tell you her story in a minute. Actually, Helen, could you mute yourself, sweetie? There's a bit of background. There's kids.
Thank you.
That's all right. Kids in the background. Yeah, I work with Mariana, and I've had a little bit of mindset stuff recently where I got a bit complacent with the program, got a little bit bored. I let myself get bored, and I'm just getting back onto it. And funnily enough, I shared a picture of myself yesterday in a top that I'd just taken in by about, I don't know, 6 centimeters. Took it in so that it fitted me. And then this morning a memory popped up of me at one of my team meetings. I have a business where I coach people, and I'm standing sideways and I've literally got a beer belly hanging over my jeans, and I thought, oh my god, if that isn't a sign that I need to carry on with this and it's working. So yeah, that really shocked me. I work in health and wellness. I work with a company called Forever Living, which is company that makes health products, mainly predominantly aloe vera. So I'm very much into health and nutrition. So this was perfect for me. I actually came across Deb's video because I think of Facebook algorithms, because I've been working with another coach who was all about body love, not weighing yourself, loving yourself as you are. But she also did a little bit of nutrition work with me, and she just, a throwaway line almost was, of course, when you turn 50, you really need to cut down on carbs. So then I started researching low carb, keto, and of course, algorithms. The video popped up, which was brilliant, and it just made so much sense. So I love the program, but at the moment I've just been a little bit off track, but I'm so glad we've got this group because I'm back on it now. Yeah, so that's me. I've said professionally what I do. I won't probably be offering any sessions in the group because I'm not trained. We've got I'm sure, I know we've got people in the group who will be doing that, but I'm more than happy to facilitate. Okay, so shall we come to Julia now, because she was on almost at the beginning.
Sure. Hi, so I'm Julia Wesley and I live in the Blue Mountains in Australia. Nice to meet you all. So what to tell? So in terms of TKS, I think it was September I started, and I've lost about, well, right now I've lost about 6, almost 7 kilos. But it wasn't actually for losing weight that I started it. I studied naturopathy years and years ago, so I've always been interested in health and well-being, and my work is also in that. So I wanted to eat keto because I thought it just sounded like a really good idea, and I hadn't fully gone into that. I'd sort of been a bit paleo and all of that sort of stuff, and I did have a bit of extra weight on that would be great to let go of. So it is delightful to let go of that, and I am in that healthy range now, right in the middle of it, sort of. So that feels really good, and I really like eating like this. What else? So professionally, I do a couple of things. I do something called accelerated pattern shifting, which is coaching, really, and coaching around patterns and letting go of that. And I also have a business in redox signaling molecule products, which probably most people have not heard of, but I love it. I love what happens for people when their cells start talking and working together. And yeah, so that's what I do. I think did I just cover everything?
I think there's a bit of synergy between you and Helen, isn't there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Sounds like it.
Well, that's 2 coaches we've got. My goodness. And now let's come to our next coach, and that's Mariana.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mariana Dragovic, and I live near Katie, as I said, but I'm originally from Serbia. And I joined the group in August, and it's really funny. It's all about algorithms again with me, like Katie and Facebook, because my work is all about, weight, body image, and all of that. And I've been doing that for a while. And in the last year or so, something like that, I put like 5-6 kilos, even though I was doing everything the same as before. Like, what's going on? I just couldn't, figure it out. Then I realized that I have insulin resistance, and I started thinking and reading and researching about what can I do. And keto was one of the options. If you asked me last year at the same time, as today, I would say keto, no way, because I knew some people who were doing it, and they were doing it in such an unhealthy way. I would never go there. But, it was just, coming back. And anyway, I was researching, so Facebook recognized that. And when I saw the challenge, I was like, why not? It's cheap. And also what I wanted to know more is how people like you ladies are reacting to the whole thing. It wasn't about my 5-6 kilos, even though it's embarrassing, me teaching other people to lose weight, and then I'm putting the weight on. It was just like crazy, right? So as soon as I started, learning more about Deborah's approach, I really recognized, there is that much better way. And then I was like reading like crazy and, doing so many things. I personally lost about 4 kilos within the first month. Then I've been diagnosed with cancer. And 3 weeks ago, I had half of my large intestine removed. So I've lost more weight than I wanted. It's like 10, 11 kilos, which was more than I wanted. But that was due to cancer. I hardly ate for, quite a while. And right now, my challenge is more about going back to keto, because I kind of tolerate like 10, 11, 12 foods at the moment. So I don't have much choice. Yesterday I tried to go more on keto, and it was so painful. I can't tell you, it was so bad. So I just can't force it. And one of the things that it's part of my coaching is listening to your body. And if I could tell where I'm good at, studying psychology of eating with Mark Daving, I'm a meditation teacher, so mindfulness and all of that is part of that I do with people. But what I could see like a missing part when you work on your weight is understanding how habits work, and that you can't really change just food. And even though if you are not working on specifics about why you're doing things that you're doing, you really can't have sustainable results. And all my work is about helping women mainly get sustainable results, and understanding and having love rather than, you know, trying to punish yourself with all sorts of things. Like, you know, what Katie said, she was off the track. When you get to that point, usually people are like, oh, you know, I'm rubbish, I can't do anything, and blah, 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 blah. We know the story, right? But actually the only way to have sustainable results and have making a difference is just stay with whatever is coming and resolve what's coming, and understand and love the part that wasn't seen until now, or whatever. It's really, I think, has to be personalized in order to see how can you overcome it. And then when you do that, then you've done with that part for the rest of your life. It's not coming back again. And what Helen really said, which I think it's really, really important, it's also connected with our role in this world and what we are doing, and you know, our spiritual stuff, because you can't, even though like what weight has to do with it, it does a lot with who we are, right? So if you don't put all of those pieces in places and work on all of that and making yourself be feeling good about yourself, you know, any weight loss will just disappear sooner or later. So, you know, too much talking. Anyway, so for me, it was really a big challenge how to implement keto, because my business is called Dietless Living. So like, how can I then, what can I do? Anyway, in the meantime, got the story short, I did a course with Dr. Berg about keto. So I am also a keto coach. But what I'm trying to say is, for me, the whole thing, cancer and changing the structure of my business and all of it, I'm going right now through the process of completely, you know, changing the stuff that I'm doing and the way I'm doing it, because it's really interesting, you know, when things come into your life, it's like, you know, I was completely against any kind of diet because I've done so many, and I was losing and putting it on over and over and over many times. But just maybe to share my story about how I see keto, for me, keto is like reset button, right? And I've read a lot of books, and I followed a lot of people who are big names in keto. And what I like about Deborah is her understanding that women are operating differently than men, definitely. So we need to have a kind of different approach. But I also tested with some people that I was working recently with, who are my friends, that I could kind of like, you know, go in and out. Once when you come to the maintenance, you need to find out what is your proper way to stay in ketosis, because, you know, they're saying you have to be between 20 and 50 grams of carbs daily. But some people could go on 100 and still be in ketosis. What I'm trying to say is that personalized thing becomes an issue. And I think all of us, the more you go further from the 1st of August, it's more about finding and understanding how can you change and stay, and what is your profile, what is your way of eating for the rest of your life, rather than thinking, oh, I'm on and off, and, you know, I'm bored, I can't do this, I have friends coming. Understanding the whole process, and then you can stay on a healthy weight and feeling good for the rest of your life, which is my point in my work. So
thank you, Marianne.
To that.
No, that's fantastic. And obviously, I don't know whether all of us saw your post when you said you'd had cancer. You had an amazing response in the group.
Yes,
so
thank you.
And you were looking so well. I mean, I only saw you last week and you were still in your hospital, not hospital bed, but you had a hospital bed at home. But look at you now. You're looking amazing 3 weeks on.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
a testament to healthy eating and healthy lifestyle that you're making such a great recovery. So that's fabulous. Now, Sharon has been nodding. I think she can hear us. Can we hear you? Have you got a mute button? No, I can't hear you at the moment. Can you just... oh, here we are. I can unmute you. Right. Now try.
Can you hear me now?
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, lovely to see you. Lovely to hear you.
Okay, so I'm Sharon, not Sharon.
Sorry.
So that's all right. I'm from the UK. I'm not sure if that's Originally from Israel, was born in Israel, grew up there, and moved to live in England about 26 years ago. When I got married, my husband is British. I joined keto in the August challenge as well. Not keto, the reason I joined is not necessarily to lose weight. I've actually never been overweight and ate quite healthily and everything, but hit 52 2 years ago. And just before that, things started going south for me. Hip pains, lower back, all sorts of little bits and bobs. And when Deborah program popped on, because one of my friends was doing keto about a year ago, and I thought, no, I'm not doing that. I like my veg, I like my fruit, I'm not having a diet that I can't eat bread and a few things like these. But then when I read into it, there was so many women saying that the health benefit side of it, I got rid of pains, aches, arthritis was better. And I thought, I've been to see doctors for the past year about lots of different things, and all I got is, well, just get on with it. There's, it's life. You hit 50 things, and I just couldn't quite believe that. So I thought, well, I have nothing to lose. I'll join and see. So I have lost 6.5 kilos since I started, and loving it. So yes, I'm in the lower part of the healthy part, so I need to be careful not to lose too much. I've just met with my nieces and my sister-in-law in Rome last week, and yes, I've got in my niece's trousers as she is 17, so I felt quite good about it. Yes, I think the last time I weighed what I'm weighing now, I was about 14. So yes, but I need to be careful not to go too far to the other side. But I certainly feel the benefit already. I mean, lower back problem I've had for years. So I know it's not going to be a miracle and disappear within 3 months, but few things, like I had a very, very bad itchy scalp with no reason. There is nothing there. I went to the doctor and that's gone within 3 weeks on the challenge. My hip are much better now. I can actually go for a walk for 2 or 3 hours without needing to sit down. And that's really depressed me before. So yes, I'm hoping to stick with the program for a bit longer. What I would like from these groups, and hopefully to get the experience of getting into maintenance now and things like this, and I'm worried of adding food or not sure what I should add and things like this. I mean, I miss quite a few things like dates and more of the healthy stuff that I used to eat before anyway. And I'm not sure how I can, sort of put it back on if I'm allowed to put it back. So this is more of the things. And just to hear the stories and how everybody's doing and everything is just, I think, absolutely wonderful. All the support that everybody giving each other, and so this sort of information.
Fantastic. Oh, Sharon, what a fabulous story. So many health benefits. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm not in maintenance yet. Helen, you are. So, but I think, that maybe there isn't so much. I know it's all in the book, but there's not a lot about people in maintenance on the group. So this could be really useful because we can all help.
I could help a lot about that.
Yeah.
That's why I studied it. Yeah. I kind of went into really deep research about that. And that's why I studied with Dr. Berg. And I wanted to kind of have knowledge from different people, because I don't know, are you aware, how much did you research? There are so many different approaches to keto.
Yeah, you hear so much about it.
Yes, and there are so many mistakes that you can damage your body if you don't know, how to deal with that. And for example, if your hair starts falling out, you need to make some adjustment, or, there are things that could go wrong. And that's why I wanted to study it first before I would introduce it to my clients, because, there are many things that could go wrong. So, we really need to be careful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with keto, that most of it that's out there is dirty. It's not clean, which is why it got its bad name. I think it was Julia that was saying before, or Mariana, that you were really against it. I was one of those as well. I was completely against it, because the majority of what's out there is actually erroneous. That's why I was so against it.
Me
And it
too.
was only by, you know, only by the blessing of these algorithms, I guess, with all my research too, that brought this, you know, because I've you know, naturopathy is part of my background. And so when I saw that it was like a naturopathic approach to the keto, I was like, ah, and I just went nuts for it, you know. But I just wanted to add real brief before we continue that I forgot to add that I'm actually originally from UK, born and raised. But I now live on the wonderful island of Cyprus. I'm in Brodaras at the moment. This is where I'm doing my weekend thing right now. And
That's where I got married.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
You know, the weather's still glorious. I'm going to the beach after this. I'm just milking it whilst it's about. And just to add is that, you know, my background, I didn't mention it before, but you probably know it from the group, is that I have actually suffered quite severely from multiple sclerosis. So like Mariana, I've got a serious health background issue that I worked through all of my methods and all of my trainings and all of my transformations and all of the deep energy and metaphysics work is actually what brought me to this point of wellness today, I'd like to say. It's been an arduous journey, but nonetheless I didn't have a choice, because when you're thrown into it, you've got to dance. You know, when you get put on the dance floor, you dance, right? So that's what I've been doing. And the keto, apart from the extra bonus of the weight loss, like Sharon was saying, is that I did it predominantly for the health purposes. So like Sharon, like all the fibromyalgia disappeared, the headachy stuff, lots of other symptoms that were throw-offs from the MS story, basically. And all of this stuff actually diminished. I have irritable bowel syndrome. That's all a thing of the past as well. Well, hopefully still is. But these are the benefits that I've had from the actual ketogenic, because it has been based in naturopathy. And just, I wanted to add that I haven't been as good as gold with it as Katie thought I was. So I did make little adjustments. So this goes back to what Mariana was saying about the exclusivity of what it is that what you do. Like it's a great program for the general public, let's say, but then you need to niche it down. And I'm a big fan of Dr. Bird, by the way, Mariana. He's just absolutely amazing. So I'm really happy that you studied with him. But yeah, we do need to niche it down and adjust accordingly to what our individual requirements are. And so my background, my training, you know, I facilitate one-to-ones and I teach groups as well, is the deeper aspect of stuff. So mindset is on the top, and deep energy work and metaphysics is what sort of like holds all that up. So it is that stuff that actually brought me to, I won't say complete wellness because I'm not completely well, but to almost complete wellness from where I am today. My only outstanding issue, I would say currently, is fatigue. That is still an issue for me. Again, improved, but I still haven't got to where I want to get. So that's my little extra bit to complete my puzzle. So I'll pass it back to you guys.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, this is where we sort of, if we were sitting in a cafe, we just carry on chatting. Yes, of course we have an agenda, and we have gone through. I mean, I think that for me, I did the 30-day challenge, loved it, did the detox, didn't find it very hard. So I did wonder whether I'd done it right. But I did it, and then I went off track. And I think for me, it's complacency. And I do work with Mariana, and we talk about this, and I love where I'm at the moment, but I think with this group, I would love to have the accountability and the support if anybody's been where I am, and sort of, obviously, I feel I've still got more to release. Shouldn't use the word lose, but I want to release more, but I have got complacent about the program. So for those of you that have done it all, because I think there was a post saying those of you that started in August should be through your first cycle, and I thought, God, I haven't gone through every stage of the program at all. So I really, I could take any advice you can give about each stage. I think that's what I'm really looking for, and like for Sharon, it's what to do afterwards, because I'm already feeling like I'm in maintenance because I've been lapsing and, you know, enjoying myself with family and stuff. And I shouldn't be there yet, but, you know, it's not affected me yet, but I know that that's a slippery slope. So
I think that it's really important there, Katie, first of all, is, you know, not to reprimand ourselves because we're not where we ought to be, because, you know, everybody's journey is paced differently and for different reasons. So, and sometimes we just don't have the time to do the the mindset work to back up that bit that we're on because we're so busy juggling other things. So, you know, I think just as a side note is just to, you know, relax with where we are, even though we're not currently maybe where we want to be. Like me with the fatigue, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm honouring that that's where I am with it. But the same applies to our TKS program as well, you know. And then when you are ready for it, when you make the space for the stuckness, then, you know, it gives you the ability to be able to go in it either with yourself or with Mariana, deeper into that space so that you can assess why it is you are where you are and what it is that you need to excel and move forward from that. Yeah. And was it Sharon that was worried about maintenance?
Not worried, but I went from, because I didn't really, losing weight wasn't the main things, because I've lost quite a bit. So I've been advised I've been advised to do the detox, but to stick to the 5 fat rather than drop it to 3, and I still lost. So I moved straight from detox into stabilization. So I didn't do the healing or the fat cycling, or if I remember right, the name. So I feel that maybe I'm going in with that, not sure exactly what to eat and what's not. Can I have, what will happen? I mean, as I said, I went to Rome last week, and I have to admit I'm not a big fan of pizza or pasta, so it wasn't too hard for me not to eat it. But thinking, okay, if I wanted to eat a pizza on one of my meals, what would have happened to me? Would have that thrown me out of ketosis? Would have actually had no effect? So that's the thing that I would like to know, going sort of starting with the maintenance. I'm not sort of, the moment I come back from Rome, I just sort of, because I had 2 ice cream, only one with the sugar-free that I'm sure probably had some rubbish in it, but I thought that it's better than an ordinary one. Just to know if I want to add, like I bought 100% dark chocolate, and it was disgusting. So I thought, because I love my 85% one, so we had a food tour or something, and I bought the 100% one thinking, yeah, it will be nice. So I actually had it with a date, and it was delicious, the 100% with the dates, because it took the sweetness of the dates that I absolutely adore. But I know dates are not on the program. So what is that doing to me if I only had 1 date with the chocolate every day, sort of thing. But where is that? Because we're not supposed to be having that. So, and I know dates generally supposed to be quite healthy for you. So just to understand that. So what, where to go from here, how exactly to eat. Because I'm not, I don't eat very often fried fruit or anything like this. I eat quite healthy, always has. So it's not a big deal. It's just that I want to eat correctly for the keto rather than just what I think is healthy. So this is where I'm not sure.
Sharon, if you want to talk to me, I'm more than happy to do that, because that's why I studied with Dr. Berg, and that's
I would love that. Yeah. I would love that.
You know, it's hard for anybody in the group that has 9,000 people to give the advice that would be good only for you. And my whole work is about personalized approach to anything. Because, for example, I had a client who could not tolerate avocado, for example. And, I don't know any healthier food than avocado. Probably that's the most, But the thing is, first, to find out that it's not working for her. It's all about seeing what's going on with you and how you respond to that, right? Because, you are your best nutritionist. I could give you, for example, suggestions, and then you see how you respond, and we can see what would be good for you to stay in ketosis. Because, there are, as you said, good stuff about dates. They are not just bad, right?
Yeah.
There is sugar that it's not good. The content of sugar is high, but you know, there are so many foods that are really healthy and it's out of keto program. And there is a way how you can eat something like that. For example, in my approach about that, I would never suggest anybody go and eat pizza, because I don't think pizza is, but if it happens, there is a way how to do that. But what I think we should all do is to go and eat some food that is really healthy and it's out of our program. Like, I don't know, an apple, or I can't think of anything right now, but the whole thing, like apple has a lot of good stuff if it's organic. It's not on the program. The thing is when and how you can eat an apple, if apple is, you know, something that your body needs, and just explore it. As well, there is another option. If you have a craving for something, it's about seeing why do you have a craving. And something that just crossed my mind, I completely forgot about it. If you find as a group that you have cravings for anything, what I find works quite well and could be done within a group is we can organize a group EFT session. I'm also EFT practitioner. So we can tap away your cravings with EFT, and we can all have different foods. Like somebody could have a wine, the other person chocolate or cake or biscuit or whatever. And we can have a session all together and see, you know, because some people have within one session just completely reduce the cravings and make them go away or something. But it's a good way to see how you can do it yourself. If it comes, what to do and how to deal with that. So I'm more than happy to do one group session about it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. We've got lots of different talents in this group, and obviously we that's why we're here, because it gives a more personal aspect to it.
Sorry, can I just interrupt a minute, because unfortunately I've got a yoga session in a minute, so I will be having to leave the set. Excuse Marianne, how do I contact you? How would I be able to?
Let's connect on Facebook, or, you know, send me personal message, or I could send you my phone. You're in UK.
Yes, I am.
I'll post in our group my telephone number. So just give me a call. We can chat and see, you know.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
have a good day, Sharon.
Thank you. Bye, ladies.
Bye-bye.
That was great. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Julia had to go too. She had another call. So actually probably we need to make these sessions maybe, you know, 35, 40 minutes, because you can unmute yourself now, Helen, because we haven't got much background noise. It's okay.
It depends how it goes as well. Like if there's more people next time, it might be required. So if we just say between 40 and an hour, and just, you know. And
if anybody has to go, they have to go. Yeah.
Yeah, if they have to go, we have to go. You know, so it's all good. But yeah, that's fascinating as well. Your work Mariana, and so that's really, really cool.
Helen, you know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
Maybe you know, like I'm just thinking how we can kind of give more and contribute to the group, and at the same time showing how your work could help the whole group. I know, because I'm in meditation and spiritual work for the last 30 years. So I know what you're talking about, but maybe some people don't. So how about if you offer, I don't know, if you have let's say we have a group of 10 people interested to go deeper, because that thing will go to the root causes of why we are doing whatever we are doing. So, you know, when I work one-to-one, it's kind of, you know, with the person, but I know that there are a lot of things that you can lead people to do as a group. And maybe you can offer one just to kind of as a taster for, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds a person, I don't know. But then if you see that people might be interested, maybe you can organize something like, I don't know, 4 weeks. And then
I'm happy to organize like a you know, a free one to start with, so people can get an idea of it. But first off, there needs to be some interest, I guess. But yeah, your idea is most welcome. I'm all up for it, no problem at all.
It'd be lovely to have a little mini session of something in this group each session. It'd be nice to have maybe something at the end, just 5 or 10 minutes of something. At least, I mean, obviously I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, just some little minis, because you know, as Mariana said, it is really the core. Because what I've noticed is in the group is when you are just addressing your issues at the level of mindset, that really is a very superficial layer. You know, there's so much more that goes on way under that. And it's basically those layers that I address when I work with people, you know, whether it is like one-to-one or whether it's the group work. So yeah, I'm very happy to go into that because it's very, very reinforcing, and it takes you to the, you know, the core of the cause. And usually it's not just one root. You know, they say in these circles you got to address the root issue. Yeah, but usually, like a tree, a root. You know, a tree has many roots, doesn't it? So there might be like multiple aspects of your reality or energy that, you know, that you need to address in order to really deal with something in a finite kind of way, you know. So yeah, sure. But Mariana, yeah, we'll connect as well on Facebook, and we can chat more.
Let's connect and let's talk. I would really like to see, you know, website, your more details. If actually Katie could share, you know, in the group, what are you doing, and kind of, and just give people an option. I'm also happy to offer, like, I don't know, just not to provide people with too many things, like 15 minutes of tapping on your cravings, you know.
Yeah, that's quite a beautiful
simple,
idea,
right? And you know, that people could see connection between behavior, your emotions, your thinking, and something that happened, you know, maybe in your previous lifetime. I don't know.
Exactly.
The whole thing is all of that.
Yeah.
And then they could see the reason to work with you or me personally. Also, what I would like to do, what I'm thinking, if Katie shares our like websites and options, also what I would like to do to share with people that supplements that Katie is offering are helping me. And I know that aloe vera is a really, really good product to help you stay, you know, more into, what's the word I'm looking for? Alkaline, yes. My brain just stopped. Because it's so easy, especially if you're eating meat, it's so easy to go into being acidic. And that's not healthy at all, right? So taking products like that could help you enormously. Obviously, if she says that, that would be, I'm selling, right? I want to say that because, you know, I'm not selling it. I don't have anything to do with that, but I know it helps. And I know it helps me since I came back from the hospital. There are so many things I tried and I couldn't tolerate. I ended up, you know, in pain, waiting, you know, for the whole thing to go out of my system. But aloe is helping, definitely, right? So what I'm trying to say is like bits and bobs that we can add to help each other.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
For that.
I know, you know, and obviously we have to be careful about not crossing over any lines, but we're not in, you know, this is a safe group, and if you're watching the recording and you've got skills and, you know, even products to bring, you know, we have to trust each other. Obviously there's no pressure in this group to take on anybody's services, products or anything, and we all keep giving away freebies and whatever. But I think, yeah, that's the beauty of having a smaller group, because they do have a protocol in the big group, and obviously they have to, but it doesn't mean that other things don't work. And I think that we can all bring to each other. And if anybody, you know, doesn't like that, then please say, if you know, but you don't have to participate. But yeah, we want this group to be much more personal and to be able to help each other. Already, you know, we've met Sharon and Julia today, who I hadn't really noticed in the group. It's such a huge group that you can't possibly get to know everybody. But yeah, this is really lovely.
Yeah,
so,
but I think it's about you know, sharing what worked for us.
Yes.
You know, in the big group, you know, just there's so many people, and you know, I miss so many. I can't spend so much time on Facebook to check all of that. It's just too much going on. That I could positively say, you know, products that you offer me to help with my journey, especially now with, you know, after the hospital and all of that. I knew before that aloe is good, but now with this experience, I have like 10 times better opinion about it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's experiential. You've experienced it, so you know.
Yes, it's not theory anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it's just so good. And you're thinking, you know, what's the big deal? It is a big deal.
Yeah.
I could, you know, I could say from the experience now. Yes.
And I think that the fact that we're all at different stages and knowledge of keto, you know, I'm so not knowledgeable apart from brand, you know, and I've got a couple of keto cookbooks, but there is so much bad knowledge out there. And the fact that you know, we've got Mariana, who is a keto coach, we've got Helen, who's gone through the whole program, and, you know, and you've been into health all your life. And we want more interaction like that, of people that have found things that worked, and, you know, that even, you know, there won't be cheats, because we don't cheat, but, you know, if something has worked for somebody, we want them to share it, you know, at certain stages. and little tips and things like that, and even recipes. It'd be great to have that. So yeah, it's just a smaller scale. So that's great.
And just to say one more thing, when you start, you have a big challenge: how to transit from where you were into something else, and understanding. For example, like you, Kate, you were eating quite healthy before, so you lost less weight than somebody who was drinking Coca-Cola every day and eating McDonald's or whatever, and understanding why is that happening, not thinking, oh, what's wrong with me, right? But also the next point, in my opinion, is when you're kind of almost there and like, what now? Or you're bored, and for whatever reason you just can't stay and be so strict. What are the steps that you can take? And I think support, that's why I like having this group. Support is the key. You have somebody and you can just go and say, oh, I just couldn't resist it today, I did blah 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 blah. And then you have love from people rather than and it just could bring you back to feeling good about yourself.
I must say
it is that caring thing, isn't it?
Yes.
The caring and the I teach about cosmic and universal laws, which are the 7 hermetic laws or principles, but there's one law that has been lost in humanity, that is the law that encapsulates all the other 7, and that is the law of caring. So if humanity was able to sort of bring this law into a practical, into their awareness and their mind and the whole shebang, it would be a completely different ball game. So I'd like to bring that to this group, the caring element. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. We've maybe learned about all 7 laws.
Because I think where it's a massive group, to some degree, some of that caring is lost simply because it's not exclusive. We go back to what Mariana said. Do you know what I mean? Not because it's meant to be lost, but simply it's just like very difficult to care for a lot of people and a lot of problems all under the same roof. But if we can kind of perhaps compartmentalize it a little bit and all contribute a little bit with our own little way, then we can cover a lot more of that caring.
Yeah, love that. I mean, I found the group really caring. I have to say, I've had amazing responses whenever.
Me too, totally. But I do see that some people are overlooked and stuff. You know, I've seen that.
Yes.
And it's not a purposeful thing. It's just simply because of the overwhelming amount of data that goes through the group.
And interestingly, there was somebody yesterday who said, I've done all the mindset stuff, I'm doing it, it's not working. So
there's something amiss, right?
Exactly. So there's definitely, this is going to be great.
But you see, it could be something tiny, like eating too much protein, which is the most common mistake I've seen recently with friends that I've been working. It's just getting, you think that carbs are bad, so like no, and then because you're hungry, you eat more protein, not understanding that actually you can increase fat, which will be fine. But increasing protein, it's not good because your body can transform protein into glucose. So you get out of ketosis, then it's not happening. And people just can't see that because they're doing it on a daily basis, and it's hard to see and it's a tiny bit, and you change it, and things start going well, right? Very, very often, it's a small thing.
You know what it is with the ketogenic switch and the whole keto thing in general is that it's so multifaceted, right? So that means there's so many elements that we need to I won't say educate because not everyone's got the time for that, but we do need to research more about that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so many different elements to it. Do a little bit too much of this or a little bit too less of that, and it just throws it all out of whack. So totally get that.
That's why it's handy to talk to somebody who knows, because if I talk to somebody, I notice then after 5 minutes. So you can go and research and spend hours and not to see the problem. You see what I mean? And I suppose us coaches, we spend more money on coaching because we know how that somebody else could notice something I can't, even though I know it. It would be like, doctors, do they go to see doctors? Yes, they do. Because the whole thing is, you need somebody else to take a look because you can't see, tree from the, you're in the middle of the wood. So it's kind of something that is sometimes so nice to just, oops, that's it. And then you can go back and be okay with that. That's why it's handy to have, you know, a group, and then it could be handled in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Faster. You know, sometimes what I also do, which is maybe important to see with people who are already doing something, and then things stop. Like we've been working, and then like, I need 30-minute session. I do 30 minutes as well, because that's about finding that, oops, that's
Yeah.
something.
Mm.
So that's an option as well.
Aware of time, and people watching the recording might be thinking,
Yes.
oh, I'm out. So we're going to end now.
Yay.
So do we need to set a date between the three of us, or should we set a date in the group?
I think what we should do is perhaps just set it up, but privately perhaps, and then, you know, just announce it in
Because
the
we're going to
group.
make, just for people watching the recording, we're planning these once a month. We think obviously if we need to do them more often we can, but
Yep.
to start with, we'd love to have more people on next time. Obviously it has been, you know, quite a small group, but that's normal.
That's fine.
You know, if you watch the recording and you've got any ideas about what we can bring into the meetings, then please voice them in the messenger group, which we're all part of. But I think it's been great. I think it's lovely
Yay.
to, you know, get
Katie, how about if you ask in the group, like if we could set up one day a month that is always going to be the same.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like to plan a few months
I
ahead.
agree, because we're all busy. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the first Tuesday of the month. Maybe we do the first Tuesday. Let's see if that works for everybody. So let's try
something like that, so we can like put it in a diary, and then, you know.
Beginning of the month is usually quite good for people. The end of the month can get a bit fraught. I don't know why, but yeah. So let's see if the first Tuesday sounds good for everybody.
Sounds like an idea.
Brilliant.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Fantastic.
All right.
Oh, great to see you all.
All right,
Nice to
guys.
see you too.
Take care then.
Bye.
Have a
See you
great
next
day.
month,
See you
and see you in the group.
Yeah,
Yes,
see you in
see
the
you.
group.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.